The idea that a divine breakthrough is being released on November 19, 2025 specifically for the chosen ones begins with understanding how spiritual timing works, how seasons shift, and how destiny aligns at moments we least expect. Many people move through life thinking everything happens randomly or without purpose, but the chosen understand that major transformations often arrive quietly, hidden beneath the surface, and revealed only when the time is fully ripe. Over the past months, you may have felt a growing sense that something was approaching, a kind of inner stirring that didn't match your external circumstances. Even when things looked stagnant, your spirit could sense movement. Even when life felt heavy, something within you whispered that the story was not staying the same. This is because breakthroughs seldom start with celebration, they start with pressure, with internal stretching, and with situations that force you to outgrow the old version of yourself. A divine breakthrough is not ordinary. It is not a positive moment or a lucky coincidence. It is a deliberate spiritual release timed by heaven, tied to your purpose, and directly connected to your identity as one of the chosen ones. The date November 19, 2025 carries significance not because of superstition, but because spiritual cycles operate on timing, alignment, and readiness. You have been walked through a process that prepared you for what is about to open. There were seasons where you were stripped away from people, comfort zones, and situations that once felt familiar. There were moments when you were pushed into isolation, not because you were forgotten, but because divine breakthroughs require clarity, separation, and spiritual sharpening before they can be received. In the weeks leading up to this moment, you may have noticed unusual signs, sudden emotional shifts, or a sense that something was being resolved behind the scenes. This is often how heaven signals that a release is near. Divine breakthroughs rarely announce themselves in loud ways before they arrive. Instead, they show up in a series of spiritual whispers, moments of intuition, quiet revelations, unexpected dreams, or a sudden peace that doesn't match your situation. These signs are not random. They are part of the preparation for what is coming, the same way pressure precedes a storm's breaking point or darkness precedes the dawn. Another part of this breakthrough is connected to all the battles you've fought this year, battles that were not mere inconveniences, but spiritual resistance. The opposition you faced was not a sign that you were failing, it was confirmation that you were approaching something destined. The enemy does not waste energy on those going nowhere. Resistance always increases right before release, and many chosen ones have been feeling that intensified pressure. Whether it showed up as delays, emotional heaviness, confusion, financial strain, relational tension, or unexpected obstacles, these experiences were not aimed at destroying you. They were designed to exhaust you before the blessing arrived, to convince you to quit moments before the breakthrough hit its final stage. But the very fact that you are still standing is the greatest proof that the breakthrough is already activated in the spiritual realm. This divine breakthrough carries multiple layers. One layer is restoration. Areas of your life where you experienced loss, disappointment, or unfair treatment will be revisited and reversed. Another layer is elevation. Your identity, your influence, and your spiritual authority are being lifted to a new dimension. And another layer is revelation. Clarity will come regarding the unanswered questions, the closed doors, and the paths that once confused you. When a breakthrough is divine, it doesn't just fix one part of your life, it shifts everything connected to your purpose. Many chosen ones have been feeling disconnected from their old environments, their old circles, or their old ways of thinking. This is because the breakthrough coming requires a new mindset, a new posture, and a new awareness of who you are. You cannot receive a heavenly release while holding on to outdated identities. This season has been rewriting your self-perception, strengthening your spiritual intuition, and preparing your character to carry what is being released. Sometimes the preparation looks like loss, sometimes silence, sometimes disappointment, but every part of it has been intentional. As November 19, 2025 approaches, there is a shift building in the spiritual atmosphere, one that aligns opportunities, creates divine connections, restores what was lost, and reveals what has been hidden. Breakthroughs tied to destiny do not enter quietly. They come with a sense of divine orchestration, where events begin to flow effortlessly, doors open without struggle, and situations align in ways you could not have arranged on your own. This is the kind of breakthrough marked for the chosen ones, something that carries both magnitude and meaning. This release is not meant for everyone. It is specifically tailored to those who endured spiritual battles with resilience, who stayed faithful when the journey became heavy, and who continued to grow even when no one noticed. Your tears, prayers, growth, and discipline were not wasted. They became the spiritual currency that unlocked the breakthrough set aside for this moment. The heavens do not operate on luck, they operate on alignment, timing, and purpose. Everything you went through has positioned you perfectly for what is being released on this divinely appointed date. The delays, struggles, and recent silence you've been experiencing were never signs of abandonment or punishment, they were signs of preparation for an unexpected good news shift that has been forming beneath the surface. Many chosen ones misinterpret quiet seasons, thinking that silence means nothing is happening, when in reality this is often when the most powerful spiritual work takes place. When heaven is rearranging the pieces of your destiny, the physical world often becomes still, almost as if life has paused. This stillness can feel frustrating, even discouraging, especially when you've spent time praying, working, believing, and pushing forward only to feel like things aren't moving. But what you didn't see is that the silence was not a void, it was a building ground. Something was being constructed for you behind the scenes, something that needed the quiet to take shape. Struggles, too, were not random. They were part of a divine refining process, a way to strengthen the parts of you that would soon need to carry heavier blessings. Many people assume blessings only bring joy, but the truth is that major breakthroughs require readiness. If the opportunity, the elevation, or the blessing arrives before you are emotionally, spiritually, and mentally prepared, it can overwhelm you rather than elevate you. That is why the journey often becomes intense before the shift. Pressure is the birthplace of growth. Challenges reveal your resilience. Setbacks force you to find new strategies. Emotional lows expose the areas that still need healing. Delays strengthen your faith. Every struggle is a spiritual tool shaping you for what is coming next. Delays, especially, have been misunderstood by many chosen ones. You may have wondered why things were taking so long, why answers seemed postponed, why doors that should have opened remained closed. But delays are not denials, they are strategic pauses designed to bring your breakthrough at the exact moment it will create the greatest impact. In a story, suspense builds before the turning point, and in your life, the suspense has been building because the next chapter is about to shift in a dramatic and unexpected way. The timing of this good news is intentional. Had it come earlier, you might not have appreciated it, understood it, or been aligned enough to receive it fully. Heaven waited for the exact moment when you were spiritually ready, mentally mature, and emotionally grounded enough to handle what is being released. There is a reason why many chosen ones have felt unusually isolated or disconnected lately. This emotional distance wasn't a sign of emptiness but a sign that you were being separated from distractions, from draining energies, from old cycles, and from people who couldn't go with you into the next season. Before a major shift, the spiritual realm often clears your environment. Connections fall away suddenly. Conversations feel different. Old interests fade. Things that used to matter no longer hold power. Your spirit begins rejecting what your mind hasn't yet processed. This clearing can feel lonely, but it is divinely orchestrated so that when the good news arrives, you receive it without interference or contamination. Many people assume that breakthroughs look like sudden wins or magical moments, but the truth is that breakthroughs often begin with internal change long before external change appears. The recent silence in your life wasn't empty, it was sacred. It was a time when your inner self was being restructured. You may not have noticed it day by day, but you have changed. Your tolerance for negativity has decreased. Your intuition has heightened. Your discernment has sharpened. Your patience has grown. Your vision has expanded. These internal shifts are evidence that something external is about to manifest. Good news wants to land in a stable vessel, and you have been shaped into one. There are moments when life becomes so still that it almost feels like you've been forgotten, but this feeling is a spiritual illusion created during the final stretch of preparation. When a seed is buried underground, it experiences complete darkness, but that darkness is the environment where it begins to grow. Similarly, you were not buried, you were planted. The stillness around you has been grooming you to sprout in a way that surprises everyone connected to your life. The breakthrough coming is not small. It has weight, influence, and ripple effects that will touch multiple areas of your life. That is why the preparation felt so intense. You have not been waiting for something ordinary. You have been waiting for something that alters your trajectory. The unexpected good news shift is not just about receiving something new, it is about shifting into a higher frequency of life, one where things flow more easily, where opportunities align, where clarity replaces confusion, and where blessings begin to cluster instead of arriving one at a time. When heaven moves, it doesn't operate on human limitations. One divine moment can change what 10 years of effort could not. One connection can open doors that were previously locked. One revelation can bring direction that eliminates years of wandering. This shift carries that kind of power. Even the emotional roller coasters you experienced recently were tied to this preparation. Moments of sudden sadness, unexpected fatigue, unusual dreams, or bursts of intuition were all signs that your spirit was recalibrating. You were being rewired, retuned, and realigned with the frequency of your breakthrough. This kind of spiritual engineering cannot happen during chaos or noise, so silence became the tool. During this silence, heaven was adjusting circumstances around you, rearranging things that didn't fit, and positioning people who will play a role in the next phase of your life. When good news comes unexpectedly, it feels like a breath of fresh air after a long storm. It revives your hope, strengthens your faith, and restores your belief in divine timing. The coming shift will do more than bless you, it will validate everything you endured. It will remind you that nothing was wasted, no season was pointless, and no struggle was in vain. The big surprise that is approaching your life is not just an unexpected moment or a sudden blessing. It is a revelation of your spiritual elevation and a direct response to every season where you were overlooked, underestimated, or doubted. For a long time, you have carried a sense that you were meant for more, yet the path to that more has been filled with resistance, misunderstandings, and situations that made you question your identity and purpose. What you didn't realize was that each of those moments was shaping you into someone who could not only receive elevation but maintain it. This big surprise is not coming to impress you, it is coming to reveal who you truly are. Many chosen ones have gone through long periods where it felt like their value was invisible. You may have been surrounded by people who could not see your potential, people who dismissed your abilities, or people who treated your quiet strength as weakness. But every time you were ignored, heaven was watching. Every time you were underestimated, a spiritual record was being kept. Every time someone doubted you, a future moment of divine reversal was being scheduled. This surprise carries the dimension of justice. It is heaven's way of restoring balance, lifting you into a position that aligns with your true identity, and showing others what they failed to recognize. Spiritual elevation does not happen randomly. It is earned through internal battles, silent sacrifices, emotional resilience, and the discipline of choosing growth even when discomfort surrounds you. Over the last months or even years, you have been allowing certain parts of yourself to die, old habits, old beliefs, old fears, old attachments, because deep inside, you sensed that you were being shaped for something bigger. The internal work you've been doing has created a spiritual foundation strong enough to carry the weight of this elevation. This big surprise is proof that your transformation was not invisible. It was noticed, acknowledged, and rewarded. There are breakthroughs that open doors, and then there are breakthroughs that reveal identity. What is coming to you falls into the second category. This surprise is designed to confirm who you were called to be from the beginning. It will validate your journey, your growth, your endurance, and your courage. You didn't just survive battles, you matured through them. You didn't just endure storms, you evolved inside them. This level of elevation is reserved for people who have allowed life to refine them without becoming bitter, resentful, or vengeful. You rose above situations that were meant to break you, and because of that, heaven is now raising you above the levels where you once struggled. The silence of your recent seasons was not emptiness, it was concealment. You were hidden so that you could develop in peace. You were hidden so your spirit could expand. You were hidden so that when the surprise comes, it will be undeniable that it was God who elevated you and not human favor. Sometimes elevation requires a season where your name is not mentioned, where opportunities seem distant, where progress feels slow. These moments are spiritually designed to protect your growth from interference. Your elevation was maturing in secret so that it could be revealed at the perfect time. That time is now approaching quickly. This big surprise will do more than lift you, it will silence every doubt surrounding you. People who questioned your path will have no choice but to acknowledge the divine fingerprints on your life. People who thought they had outgrown you will witness how far grace can carry someone chosen. People who dismissed your potential will have to re-evaluate their assumptions. The shift coming is so precise and so divinely orchestrated that it will remove the need for you to justify yourself. You will not have to explain your growth, argue for your value, or defend your calling. The elevation itself will speak louder than anything you could say. What makes this surprise so powerful is that it aligns with things you prayed for in silence, things you may have forgotten, things you whispered in pain, things you hoped for but didn't know how to articulate. This revelation is a reminder that no sincere prayer goes unheard and no genuine desire goes ignored. Heaven stores your cries, your tears, your hopes, and your dreams, and releases them in moments when they will have the greatest impact. The timing of this surprise is not accidental, it has been synchronized with your readiness. You are no longer who you used to be. You have grown into someone capable of holding blessings that once would have overwhelmed you. There will also be a noticeable shift in your confidence. This elevation will not just change your circumstances, it will change how you see yourself. You will begin to walk with clarity, with authority, with a renewed sense of worth. Opportunities that once intimidated you will suddenly feel aligned. Paths that once confused you will become clear. Relationships that once drained you will no longer have power over you. This surprise will activate a deeper awareness of your identity, and once you step into this awareness, you will not return to the version of yourself that doubted, feared, or hesitated. This moment marks the beginning of a new chapter, one where your elevation becomes visible, your purpose becomes undeniable, and your presence becomes impactful. Everything that was meant to stop you has only sharpened you. Everything that tried to delay you has only prepared you. Everything that seemed like a setback has only aligned you. The big surprise approaching your life will not just bless you, it will transform the entire direction of your journey. And when it unfolds, you will finally understand why you had to endure, why you had to wait, and why you were chosen for something greater.